Hello, Chelsea community, and welcome to CBC engagement and conversation about Black History Month 2021. My name is Joan Cromwell. I'm president of Chelsea Black Community, and I am here with
Henry Wilson, a longtime member of the Chelsea Black Community Organization, the first president of Chelsea Black Community Organization as well. And today, Joan, we're getting ready for our Black History Month event for February, but things will be a little bit different than it has been in the past. Can you let people know how it's going to look for February?
Sure. So usually we come with a nice group of happy folks and we sit down and we chat and we have a great conversation about the events that we'll be hosting this year. But unfortunately, in light of COVID, Henry and I could only be here with you today, but that's okay. We're still going to bring a full agenda, a full calendar. The events are going to look different this year, but that's okay as well because they're still going to be as educational, as interactive as they are every year. I just wanted to start with the theme for Black History Month. The national theme is Family, Leadership, and Service, and it focuses on the family in terms of representation, identity, and diversity, which ranges from a single-parent family to a two-parent family to the nuclear extended family, and more recently, biracial family. So with that, it's looking at the history of the family in terms of slavery, inequality, and poverty that have put mounting pressures on maintaining family ties, which is why when Black folks have their family reunions, they're always fun and engaging and just something that we look forward to because we hold on to that family tie and family values very strongly, as other individuals and cultures do, but more we're looking at in terms of the strain and the stress over the past 400 years that have happened to the Black family.
So you mentioned something about how it's going to be different, the program for February. I see, as you know, and everyone else out here knows, that there are so many Zoom events going on and so many different meetings. We just had one recently with People's AME Church with Pastor Whitley for Dr. Martin Luther King event, and that was a great success. And I know that we have at least 4 events that we have planned for February.
We do.
And they're all going to be on Zoom, everybody. So, you know, but can you elaborate on some of those events?
Sure.
Probably the times also?
Sure. So we'll touch upon the calendar now, but I do want to get back to there's other aspects of the national theme, which is also leadership and service. So remember those 2 words as we go through the calendar, because that's what we're focusing on, how we celebrate as a community, because it's always the national theme, but it's always nice to hone in and bring it home to our community, who's unique and has its own successes and challenges. So that's what we like to focus on. So the first event, of course, will be the opening of the Chelsea City Hall Art Gallery exhibit, and that starts on February 1st, and it's at the Chelsea City Hall, of course. And usually we have a great reception. We have like appetizers and hors d'oeuvres, and the attendance is amazing. And you know, everyone comes out, and we basically engage in conversation. We have nice jazz music playing. It's a nice art exhibit. Well, all of that is going to be a little different.
Yeah, because it normally is a one-day event.
Right.
But this time around, it's going to be
throughout the month. So it runs throughout the month. And the artwork, still we reached out to local artists that were kind enough to share their beautiful artwork with us. So absolutely, it's, it is a controlled environment, but the doors are open for you to, visit the gallery. And again, that's on display throughout the month of February. In conjunction, we did something really great this year. In conjunction with the art gallery, we also utilized the downtown gallery 456.
Six.
Right. I'm used to saying the Salvation Army, but to be correct, and the name is the Downtown Gallery, and that's a photography exhibit, and that's focused on family, peace, justice, and equality, and it's from our very own Miss Sharon Caulfield. So we
used to be the
basically
dean of Bunker Hill Community College
yes
for many years.
yes she's a member of CBC, and
And a
if
great
you know
photographer.
Dean, she brings her camera everywhere and she takes incredible pictures.
Yeah.
So she was kind enough to share them with us. We know that we had a pretty busy year last year, and I'm so happy that we're able to reflect through pictures in the gallery to show what went on during the year. So last year was pretty challenging in terms of Black Lives Matter and social and racial injustice, as well as the pandemic. So it was a year that usually, if we were out and about, we would really, really celebrate it full force. But because it's not, we still are taking an opportunity to celebrate it as such, because it should not go unnoted over the challenges that were faced, and as well as the successes as a community.
And even though we had the challenge that we have, the pandemic and everything in our community and our country, we as a city of Chelsea, we still stepped up. Everyone in the community stepped up to make sure that everyone's taken care of.
That's right.
So it's a collaboration of everyone.
Exactly.
Every part of our great city of Chelsea, and the people who live here and
Right.
who work here all stood up and took care of each other,
Absolutely.
and we continue doing this
Absolutely.
until we
And
get
that's
taken
why
care of.
I ask you to remember service and leadership. So we're bringing it all together, and in respect to the national theme, and bringing it home, because it was a challenging year, but as I said, a successful year for our city. So please stop by and visit the photography exhibit by Sharon Caulfield, and that also will run throughout the month as well.
Okay.
Then we switch over to
More excitement right here.
virtual Zoom events. And it's great because when we talk about coming together, a coordinated effort as a community, this year we're honored to have historian Carrie McInnes from the Governor Bellingham Carey House Museum, and she's going to present a feature on life of Fanny Carey Fairweather from 1764 to 1844. And that's going to be on February 3rd. So Fanny Carey Fairweather was a native of Africa and a slave who resided at the Governor Bellingham Carey House in Chelsea. She died at the age of 80 and is actually buried at, have you heard of the Rumney Marsh Reservation?
Chelsea.
It's in Revere, but it was formerly a part of Winnesimmett, which is AKA
Chelsea.
You got it. So that should be interesting, and that's going to be our first virtual Zoom event on February 1st. We tried to be consistent with the days and the time, so we make it easy for you to mark off your calendar. It's from 6 to 8 on a Wednesday evening. So when you settle down after dinner, you can enjoy a nice feature on Fanny Carey Fairweather.
And that's on February 3rd, not February 1st.
February 3rd.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Right. The next is February 10th, and this is from 6 to 8 p.m. as well. It is on a Wednesday, and it's a short film and discussion on assumptions and stereotypes. And the facilitator is another community member, and he's wonderful. The facilitator is going to be Khalil Sadiq, and he is a racial equity consultant. So that's going to be very engaging and interactive. And we'll watch a short film. It's amazing. And then we'll talk about assumptions and stereotypes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that should be interesting. And basically, it's I like it because it's going to touch on what we the term implicit bias, which means we're all have some type of implicit bias within. So it's nice to have that conversation, to feel comfortable and engage and, a conversation that will educate us in becoming better at
communicating with each other
and knowing our
accepting and
implicit
accepting. Yeah.
biases to, not to basically control it in terms of conversations.
Okay, but this right here, the next event we have coming up, it's going to be a powerful event and great event. We heard from this person recently, and you can talk about this one. This is so exciting, Joe.
This one is No Justice, No Peace. So this one actually is on a Thursday evening. It's at the same time, 6 to 8, but we had to accommodate the time with all the parties that will be involved. And this is great because it's going to look at racial disparities in the U.S. judicial system. And it's going to be another conversation with the community in regards to what in the law needs to change for Black, brown, and people of color. And the conversation is going to be with Associate Justice of Superior Court Judge Angel Kelly. She's actually was the keynote speaker at our MLK celebration, and she was wonderful. She's real. She's down to earth. She loves this community. She wants to come back and engage in such conversations with the community. So you know what?
She had a powerful
Wow.
story to tell, to share with everybody.
Yeah.
And it was just wow. I mean, meet her the first time on Zoom and listen to her story. You're like, you can feel what she went through. And it was a great honor to be a part of MLK event with People's AME Church with Pastor Willie and her members and stuff.
Yes.
And
that was great.
It was a great, and I encourage everybody to not only the other three that we talked about, but definitely you want to be here at this event because
Absolutely.
It's going to be powerful message to be shared that night.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So our last event will be on February 24th, and we're back to the Wednesday, and that's from 6 to 8 p.m., and it's a tribute to
our Trailblazers.
Chelsea Trailblazers. Yeah. And it's a twist this year because we thought about, all the great people doing great things and the unsung heroes, and that's who we usually, find that needle in a haystack and showcase, folks doing great things every day. This year, it was, we decided to look at a community responding to a pandemic and racial inequality. So we're looking at the whole community. So when I talked about service and leadership, we've always tried to bring it home. So it's family, service, and leadership. And here with CBC, we love to hone in on how it interacts with our community.
Right.
So this year's recognition of the Chelsea Trailblazers, as I said, is all in our community who responded with a call to action like none ever before. This is our opportunity to showcase our city leaders, organizations, schools, the interfaith community, hospitals, photographers, and everybody who was on that 4 p.m. call every day, which turned into once a week, and just put heads together and really had a coordinated response during a pandemic and social unrest and injustice.
They continue that fight out here in Chelsea also. I was honored to be a part of it because, it was a 7-day-a-week thing. It wasn't a one day. It was like every day you're out there on the ground supporting our residents, our community members. And some of the heroes out here, like we normally have 5-6 names, and we started that process, but it was like, wow. But what about this person? Even Bob Kraft, family who came here on a Saturday,
with the bus,
rainy day, with a big semi truck, with loads and loads of food to support our community. And it was just all the team leaders out here, the union leaders out here helping out with St. Luke's, and it was just amazing all the work the collaborative with their daily and weekly support of the families out here and all the nonprofit agencies helping out with housing,
the
and
interfaith
food
community.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was a lot.
And we thank you.
The food
And
pantries.
we acknowledge you, we see you, we hear you, and we're going to show everyone else
Yeah.
how much we love and support you and appreciate you.
That's right, absolutely. And as I said, it's our opportunity to showcase how extraordinarily um, our community exemplified family, service, and leadership. Not only to Black and Brown families, but to the community as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that Chelsea can boast about progress in our community. Under current leadership, the city manager, the city councilor, the gatekeepers, all of them provided utmost service and put heads together to bring us through. And we're not through, and
No.
it's not over. And you continue to do what you do every day, just to make sure folks aren't hungry, make sure children have clothing, make sure everyone experience Christmas as a child should.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all of that just culminated into progress as a community.
And everyone was learning this as we was going. I mean, even the school department with the iPads and the giving out the remote Wi-Fi to the students, to the families, and everyone's learning together. Teachers out there, thank you for teaching our students and stuff. I mean, it was difficult. We all learned as we was going. And the most important thing I want to touch on and say thank you to is the graduates of 2020. I mean, the young men and ladies out there didn't have a prom, didn't have a real graduation like the past, but they was fine, and they wasn't fine completely. They was there, they was happy. Their families were able to see them walk across the stage and get their diplomas and stuff. And you really want to thank those class of 2020, and so a lot of great things as always coming for February for Black History Month, and this is what, our 6th year that we've been doing this, and how many years we've been an organization, we should say,
since 2013.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're definitely have been here for quite some time, and we're all members of the community.
Yeah.
And we all know each other, and it's not only within the Black community; it's the extended community. So that's why I we are in awe and are so happy to celebrate you on February 24th. And it's going to be dynamic. It's going to be engaging. Too bad we can't eat food, but maybe we could have dinner and just all eat together during the Zoom event. You can do what the Chelsea did.
You just go to a local restaurant, and you just get some food and support the local restaurants around here. I mean, we're eating together that way.
Yep.
What I was going to say, there's not just Joan and Henry. There's a multitude of other members who are a part of CBC.
Yeah.
A lot of them are actively doing things in person, over the phones, reaching out to you for donations. And if you want to donate, there's information that you want to share with people how to donate.
Yep. So because I'm not techie, but I've learned to be techie this year, the virtual events we will be sending the Zoom links out soon, as well as the donation page that will follow that. And we've made it very easy this year. Thanks to Cash App, you could kind of hold your phone up to the barcode and donate that way as well. And it's for, the proceeds just go to what we do throughout the year and engaging in the community and, spearheading events that are inclusive in our civic obligation. Black Lives Matter marches and protests last year, and just coming together to include the whole community, because it's, as I always say, Black History Month isn't only for Black folks, it's for all folks. Yep. So we all need to come together and celebrate Black History Month, but also U.S. history. It's United States history. It's all of our history. And I think we've seen last year how it's a domino effect. If it affects one, it affects all of us in terms of social inequity and injustice, and racial inequity and injustice, but as well as a pandemic. So it's just banding together as a community. And again, I think, we've done that hands down. Yeah. And I think this community definitely deserves a Medal of Honor for outstanding leadership, immense service, and just incredible folks just coming together to do their thing.
It's a non-stop event,
Yeah.
non-stop effort on all here in the city of Chelsea, the
Yep.
city that everyone loves. There was a time when we were the highest numbers of coronavirus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everybody was afraid to what to do, where to do, what, and whatever. But like you said, they had those Zoom meetings, and we learned from there. We started from there to start crawling and saying, you know what I mean? And yeah, this is another exciting time here in our city to give back to our residents again, to let people know that we see you. You know what I mean? And we also want to thank our local cable.
Absolutely.
You know, cable TV here in Chelsea with Paula and Ricky.
Sure.
Helping us out as always, in Chelsea Record with
Carrie
Seth and Carrie
Yep.
and the rest of the team over there for always supporting us as well, and especially you, the residents.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? You can't thank the residents more.
It's true.
Enough. I mean, I've been out here, you've been out here, you've seen these lines and stuff, and
Yeah.
you know, from a city that, you know, so small, you would think would be a lot of issues learning, and we have surpassed that. I don't know, that medal of, you know, care and respect for each other.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
So thank you. So I just wanted to leave you with a few fun facts for Black History Month, because usually we could get up at the podium and we share and educate. So I really think that a little bit of education is always a good takeaway.
Yeah.
So I just wanted, basically, when I said it's all of our Black History Month is for all of us, did you know that in 1909, a group of Black and white activists formed the National Association for Advancement of Colored People, which is the NAACP. So it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
Black, white, brown, Asian, all of them came together to basically form the NAACP. Also, let's see, another fun fact is Martin Luther, in 1999, Martin Luther King Day is celebrated in all 50 states for the very first time.
Let me give you a fun fact.
What?
Do you know what Dr. Martin Luther King's name was before Martin?
No, what was it?
His name was Michael. And what was his father's name? His father's name was Michael.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a fun fact.
That's a fun fact.
So he changed his name. Then he also changed his son's name to Martin. So he was Michael before he was Martin.
And that was right off the top of Henry's head, because I'm reading from a book, but it's pretty good.
Google. Google is so amazing.
All right, and one last fun fact. So in 1941, actually I'm going to give you two. Okay. In 1941, the War Department organized the Tuskegee Airmen, the first African-American unit of combat pilots. And the last fun fact
I think we only have one left still surviving, one Tuskegee.
Yeah,
still
that's
alive.
right.
He just lost one last year.
Yes.
I think 90-something years old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The last fun fact is in 1967, Thurgood Marshall becomes the first Black U.S. Supreme Court Justice.
Yep.
So that's wonderful. So all of this is going to tie in to all of our Zoom events, and definitely conversations and topics that, you know, range from our community all the way back to Fanny Carey Fairweather, which was in the 1800s, all the way up to today, to talk about the U.S. judicial system, and as well as social implicit biases and things like that. So we definitely have a nice span of events that basically encompasses Black history from 400 years ago to today here in Chelsea.
So you got to keep in mind for the Zoom information is coming out.
Yes.
And then the other thing is, it's going to be the same as always. Instead of us meeting in person to hug, we can hug over the air.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
We'll do virtual hugs.
Yeah, virtual hugs is good too. I mean, you know, everybody's out and about. But once again, we want to thank Chelsea Cable.
Yes.
Chelsea Record.
Yes.
We want to thank...
read the paper today, because the calendar's in there as well.
It's on the front page.
Yes.
It's on the front page.
Oh, that's a good thing.
We want to thank also Patricia Simboli and the Simboli family Pastor Whitley, People's AME Church. Our city manager, Mr. Tommy Messina, did a great
Absolutely.
job. You know, our city leaders, our city councilors.
All will be recognized on the 24th.
Yep, Dr. Elmi Abeda and the Chelsea Public School Department and
Yep.
city and school committee members, and everyone else who always help us every year, from Dunkin' Donuts to Burger King, and to all the nonprofit agencies and partnership that we have throughout the community. A lot of great partnerships we have with our nonprofits, so we want to thank them and acknowledge them. But anything else you want to do for closing? You want to say for closing, Ms. Jones?
So, for closing, I want to say I hope I see each and every one of you at the virtual Zoom events. I want to ask you to stop by the City Hall Gallery as well as the gallery downtown and enjoy the artwork as well as the photography exhibit. It's beautiful. You're probably going to see yourself in there because there's lots of pictures throughout of all of us in the community doing what we do every day, which is great stuff. So you know what? Looking forward to seeing you again. We will send out the virtual links, and we made it really easy. It's one link for all events. So
and the other thing, we want to make sure that we get that app for donations.
Yes.
If they can't do the app, there's another way they can send donations into the organization.
Yeah. So it is Chelsea Black Community, P.O. Box 505-299, Chelsea, Mass. 02150. Wow, that was off the top of my head. I remember that. Thanks.
Wheatie does a bar to it, doesn't it? So again, well, I want to thank our president of Chelsea Black Community Organization coming by and sharing the upcoming events that's happening here.
Always a pleasure.
February 1st is when everything starts, which is next week. Yep. And we want to thank you again, the community as a whole, for coming out and continue supporting us. And we'll see you throughout.
Thank you. Yes, and we do want to thank you. And I also want to thank Chelsea Young Adult Alliance, which is the under the umbrella of Chelsea Black Community. Wonderful, wonderful folks in that. Kyle, you remember? Jade, you remember? Ola, the young lady, Miss Washington, and there's several other young adults that have really stepped up and got involved, and you know what, brought us out as a community, and it's always a good feel. So thank you, and thank you, Chelsea, and thank you, my beloved community.